Welcome, Total Pro Nation. It's Lambo's World of Sports, presented by Sideline Sports Network. Today, we're going to be talking about college football. Yes, we're going to talk about the high expectations the University of Georgia will have in 2023 after they won back-to-back national championships in 2021 when they beat the University of Alabama, and last year when they were 15-0 and they beat the University of TCU, which was not even a close game, by the way. But what is the expectation for Georgia? You lose Stinson Bennett. You lose a couple guys like Jordan Davis, the defensive tackle who went to the Philadelphia Eagles. You lose a lot of guys going to the NFL. Kirby Smart's probably one of the top three premier coaches in college football. He was hired at the University of Georgia head football coach. In 2016, he was under the Nick Saban tree as a defensive coordinator. Um, his total record is 81-15 as a head coach for Kirby Smart, so he ain't getting fired anytime soon. Plus, he makes about $10.5 million per year. Yes, $10.5 million per year. Kirby Smart is going into his eighth season as the head coach of the University of Georgia. What are the expectations of the University of Georgia? Will they win the championship again? Will they three-peat? Now, the three-peat is going to be very, very hard. When is the last time a college team has had a three-peat for the national championship? I think it's going to be pretty hard. But it could happen. Here's why. Because I think Georgia has the most easiest schedule in all of college football. Now, you still have Brock Bryers, who's one of the best tight ends. He'll probably be not a number one draft pick, but a first-round draft pick. Their new starting quarterback is Carson Beck. Their running backs is Branson Robinson. You got Kendall Milton. And your wide receiver, you got Ra Thomas. You got Mikael Muse. So we'll see how that goes along those lines. But I think Georgia has a chance to compete for another national championship. Now, I know I said Alabama was going to win it. They're going to come back. Alabama hasn't, they lost one. I think they're going to win one this year. But the reason why I say Georgia, because Georgia has an easy schedule. Looking at the schedule for the University of Georgia, it's very light, but it pisses me off. I guess nowadays you can make your own schedule. Looking through this schedule, they play the University of Baltimore. They play what's it called? Their first game is against UT Martin. Your second game is against Ball State, then South Carolina, then UAB, then Auburn, then Kentucky, then Vanderbilt, then Florida, then Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia Tech. Okay, with that schedule, they'll easily make the SEC championship, and I think their toughest game out the year is probably going to be Tennessee. The schedule I just read was real light, really easy. Kirby Smart will get his guys ready. The defense is going to be the same. It's going to be a new offense. Their offensive coordinator went to the Baltimore Ravens under Lamar Jackson. So I'm not sure if that offense is going to be the same or it's going to be different. But with that schedule I just mentioned, the University of Georgia, there's a possible chance that they will compete for a national championship. They'll probably be the top four team in the college football playoff, and they will get in. Tennessee is going to be the toughest game, which is the second to last game of the year in week 12, week 13. I think it's a road game. Yes, it's a road game at Knoxville on November 18th. That's going to be the toughest game in the schedule. Their schedule is really light. It's real easy. All those teams I just mentioned as well, they're going to beat them. So I think Georgia will go back. They'll repeat. Kirby Smart already has 81 wins and 15 losses as the University of Georgia head coach. Georgia's very, I think, have they taken over college football? I don't think Georgia's taken over college football. They won back-to-back national champions since Alabama did it in 2009 and 2010. They won back-to-back. They hadn't taken over college football. I think Alabama is still that top dog, and Nick Saban still got 7 national championships. So 7-2, I mean, that's a different story for a different day. But, Georgia's up there, but we'll see if they win a championship. But, I mean, they've blown out teams that are supposed to be there. They've blown out TCU. They've blown out some really good competition. The competition, the schedule is weak. But when it really matters, they beat good teams when it really matters. So I can't sit here and say that they can't beat good teams because, I mean, they beat They beat TCU in the national championship. And I forgot who they beat the first time They beat Ohio State. So there you go. They beat Ohio State, they beat TCU, and they won the national championship. So I can't say they play tougher teams. It's a possibility Georgia, Alabama will be the SEC championship, and then they'll probably meet in the college football playoff again, depending on rankings. But I think, like I said in my previous video, Georgia and Tennessee will determine the college football playoff spot if Tennessee stays undefeated, because I think if Tennessee loses, I don't think they'll get in. So we'll see how it goes along the lines. I think the University of Georgia has a chance to compete for a national championship. I'm just going to say the answer. I think Georgia will go to the national championship unless something happens. I'm not going to doubt Georgia. I was wrong in 2021. And if I had money to put on it, which I do have plenty of money, I will put my money on Georgia. So Georgia will make the national championship. I think it'll be a rematch of Georgia and Alabama for the national championship in 2024. Thank you, Total Nation. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This is LAMBO'S World of Sports, presented by Silent Sports Network. You'll tune in. Georgia versus Alabama in the national championship. We will be catching you later on.